Since 2021, every single summer Ninjago installment has, somehow, found its way onto the internet early, including, somehow, Dragons Rising Season 3 Part 2. Yes, I was still working on my review of Dragons Rising Season 3 Part 1, to which I found out that the first 4 episodes of our summer installment had randomly dropped online. This is funny, very funny, especially in context for how Ninjago releases have happened since 2021. This one is less of a leak, but by the 30th of April, before a single summer set had been revealed, we'd seen the entirety of Ninjago Seabound. It started off with the Canadian network Teletoon releasing the episodes in 2-part blocks weekly, starting on April 4th. However, halfway through its run, the UK channel CITV randomly started airing 1 episode a day. This meant that the entire season had released by the end of April. This is less of a leak as it was released by 2 legitimate channels. However, given LEGO started marketing the season officially months after this, I think it's safe to say that this release model was not the plan and not the ideal outcome. It's made especially funny given the fact that the same thing has happened in the following 4 years. We got the English dub for Crystallize about 3 weeks earlier than expected. Not the end of the world, however, the first 6 episodes released in blocks of 2 on Cartoon Network New Zealand and Australia, starting with A Sinister Shadow and ending with Return to Primeval's Eye. The earlier releases came to a close on October 1st, when Netflix in Australia and New Zealand dropped the other 12 episodes, which was also about 9 days earlier than the official October 10th release date that we were all given. The first attempt at a 2-part season model didn't go amazingly, but surely it wouldn't happen again. After releasing in South Korea early, the English dub of the first 5 episodes of Dragons Rising Season 1, Part 2 materialised on Disney Plus Hotstar on April 27th, around 2 weeks before their official release date of October 12th. We know for a fact these were unintentional as they were all removed a day after. Luckily, it wasn't too far from the official release and it was only half of a season. However, this was the second attempt at a 2-part model and it had failed once again. This one is perhaps the funniest one yet. After Season 2, Part 1 released on time in April, there was anticipation galore for Season 2, Part 2. Eventually, on July 25th, we were told of an October release at the Ninjago Comic-Con panel. Later that same day, all 10 episodes released on the American streamer Peacock and were removed a day after. Not only was this nearly 3 months early, but it was also the entire run of episodes. By the end of July 26th, most Ninjago fans had seen the entire release and were in for an incredibly long gap. A long gap eventually brought us to 2025, in which we finally got Season 3 of Dragons Rising on April the 17th, and it was a great release. We knew we had to wait until September 4th for the back half, so we had 5 whole months to wait and ruminate on Part 1 before thinking about Part 2. Anyways, a week later, Roku, a TV provider that has a LEGO channel, decided to release the first 4 episodes of the back half of Season 2, very late on April 24th, and are already down. Yes, there was a single week's gap between the 2 parts, and over a month until the release of the summer sets. I think, in many ways, this is the most insane leak yet. Not only is it following the previous insane leak, but it was only a single week after the prior installment. I think that's a new record for Ninjago's standards. So what have we learnt here? What's the moral to this fun tale? I think there are 2 things you can really say. Number 1, LEGO really needs to sort out their streaming partners and have a cohesive release plan before distribution, or, number 2, end the 2-part gimmick. Whilst this would lead to a very long wait, it's clear that LEGO are out of their depth with Ninjago's distribution, at least at the minute they are. Thank you for joining me on this very, very brief look over Ninjago's awful release these past few years. Maybe next week we'll have Season 3, Part 2, the other 5 episodes, or heck, we'll be on Season 4 by then. You really don't know with LEGO Ninjago's release. Anyways, as I said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.